Global defense budgets. What if I told you that the world is spending more on military power than ever before? In 2024 alone, the top 20 countries have spent trillions of dollars combined to strengthen their defense. But why? Are we preparing for the next great war? Or is this just the cost of maintaining global security? Let's count down the top 20 biggest military budgets in the world and what they mean for the future. Welcome to One Good Fact. Today you are sure to learn one good fact about global defense spending. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe for more eye-opening insights into global affairs. Now, let's get started. In 2024, global defense spending reached unprecedented levels, reflecting intensifying security challenges worldwide. According to data from the International Institute of Strategic Studies, the top 20 countries by defense expenditure are as follows. Number 20, Canada, $24.2 billion. Canada's defense budget has been growing steadily, focusing on modernizing its air force and cybersecurity programs. With tensions rising globally, Canada is expanding its Arctic defense capabilities and strengthening military ties with NATO. Canada's defense budget has seen consistent growth in recent years, reaching $24.2 billion as the government prioritizes military modernization, strategic partnerships, and national security enhancements. As global tensions rise and new geopolitical threats emerge, Canada has been focusing on strengthening its military capabilities, particularly in key areas such as Arctic defense, cybersecurity, and Air Force modernization. Air Force modernization. One of the largest areas of investment within Canada's defense budget is its Air Force. The Royal Canadian Air Force, RCAF, is undergoing significant upgrades to maintain operational readiness and meet NATO commitments. A major highlight of this effort is Canada's plan to replace its aging fleet of CF-18 Hornet fighter jets with 88 Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II stealth fighters, a deal valued at approximately $19 billion. This acquisition will enhance Canada's air combat capabilities, ensuring that the country can effectively respond to aerial threats and participate in joint operations with allied forces. In addition to fighter jets, Canada is investing in advanced drone technology, surveillance aircraft, and aerial refueling capabilities. These investments align with the country's commitment to strengthening North American aerospace defense, particularly through its partnership with the United States and the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD. Arctic defense expansion. Canada has long recognized the strategic importance of the Arctic, an increasingly contested region due to climate change, which is opening new navigation routes and increasing competition for natural resources. With growing concerns over Russia's military presence in the Arctic and China's expanding interest in the region, Canada has intensified efforts to bolster its northern defense infrastructure. Recent investments include the expansion of the Canadian Rangers, a military reserve unit composed primarily of Indigenous members skilled in Arctic survival and reconnaissance. Additionally, Canada is upgrading its surveillance systems in the north, including the renewal of the North Warning System, NWS, a chain of radar stations designed to detect potential threats from hostile aircraft or missiles. The Royal Canadian Navy is also reinforcing its presence in Arctic waters with the deployment of the Harry de Wolf-class Arctic Offshore Patrol Ships, AOPS, which are designed to navigate through ice-covered waters and support search and rescue, surveillance, and sovereignty operations. Strengthening military ties with NATO. As a founding member of NATO, Canada plays an important role in collective defense initiatives. It has increased its participation in multinational training exercises and contributed to deterrence efforts in Eastern Europe, particularly following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Canada leads NATO's Enhanced Forward Presence, EFP, battle group in Latvia, providing troops, equipment, and logistical support. Beyond conventional military operations, Canada is investing heavily in cybersecurity to combat the growing threats of cyber warfare, espionage, and infrastructure attacks. The Communications Security Establishment, CSE, Canada's primary cybersecurity and signals intelligence agency, has received expanded funding to develop advanced cyber defense capabilities and strengthen collaboration with NATO allies. Conclusion. With its $24.2 billion defense budget, Canada is focused on modernizing its military, securing its Arctic frontiers, and reinforcing its NATO commitments. By investing in cutting-edge technology and strategic defense initiatives, Canada aims to maintain its national security and contribute to global stability in an increasingly volatile world. Number 19. Spain. $25.1 billion. Spain has been increasing its defense spending in response to NATO commitments. A significant portion is going into new fighter jets, naval expansion, and cyber warfare initiatives to bolster European security. Spain's defense budget has risen to $25.1 billion, marking a significant increase in military spending as the country aligns with NATO's goals and strengthens its national security. In recent years, Spain has committed to modernizing its military forces, enhancing cyber warfare capabilities, and expanding its naval and air force fleets. These efforts reflect Spain's strategic priorities in maintaining European security and responding to evolving global threats. NATO commitments and increased spending. As a NATO member, Spain has been under pressure to increase its defense budget to meet the alliance's 2% GDP spending guideline, particularly in light of growing security concerns in Eastern Europe following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. While Spain has traditionally spent less than some of its European counterparts on defense, the country has now pledged to boost military investment significantly. Spain plays a vital role in NATO operations, hosting key military installations such as the Rota Naval Base, where U.S. and Spanish naval forces coordinate missions in the Mediterranean. Additionally, Spain actively contributes troops to NATO's Enhanced Forward Presence, EFP, battle groups in Eastern Europe, reinforcing its commitment to collective defense. Modernization of the Spanish Air Force. A significant portion of Spain's defense budget is allocated to modernizing its air force. One of the most notable projects is the purchase of new Eurofighter Typhoon fighter jets to replace the aging F-18 fleet. The Spanish government has approved the acquisition of additional Eurofighters as part of the Halcon program, which aims to enhance Spain's aerial combat capabilities. These aircraft feature cutting-edge avionics and radar systems, making them a crucial asset in Spain's defense strategy. Spain is also participating in the Future Combat Air System, FCAS, a joint initiative with France and Germany to develop a next-generation stealth fighter jet by 2040. This project will integrate artificial intelligence, unmanned aerial vehicles, and advanced weaponry to ensure European air superiority in the coming decades. Naval expansion and maritime security. Spain's naval forces are undergoing significant expansion to improve maritime security, particularly in the Mediterranean and Atlantic. The Navantia-led project to develop the next generation of F-110 frigates is a key part of this effort. These advanced warships, equipped with state-of-the-art radar and electronic warfare systems, will enhance Spain's ability to conduct anti-submarine and air defense operations. Additionally, Spain is upgrading its submarine fleet with the launch of the S-80+ class submarines, designed to improve underwater warfare capabilities. These diesel-electric submarines feature advanced stealth technology and improved endurance, allowing Spain to patrol its territorial waters more effectively. Cyber warfare and digital security. Recognizing the increasing importance of cyber threats, Spain has allocated a portion of its defense budget to strengthening its cyber warfare capabilities. The Spanish armed forces have enhanced their cybersecurity infrastructure to protect critical networks from cyber attacks, espionage, and digital sabotage. Spain's Joint Cyber Command, MCCE, works alongside NATO's cyber defense initiatives to counter emerging cyber threats. The country is also investing in artificial intelligence and advanced encryption technologies to safeguard military communications and sensitive data. Conclusion. With a $25.1 billion defense budget, Spain is making significant strides in modernizing its military, enhancing European security, and fulfilling its NATO commitments. By investing in new fighter jets, advanced naval warships, and cybersecurity initiatives, Spain is positioning itself as a stronger and more capable military force in the 21st century. Number 18. Brazil, $26.8 billion. As the largest country in South America, Brazil maintains the region's strongest military. A large chunk of its budget goes into border security, naval development, and space-based defense programs. As the largest country in South America, Brazil maintains the region's most powerful and well-funded military, with a defense budget of $26.8 billion. Given its vast landmass, long coastline, and strategic regional role, Brazil's military investments focus on border security, naval expansion, aerospace defense, and modernization of its armed forces. These efforts are driven by the need to protect national sovereignty, combat organized crime, and enhance technological capabilities in space-based defense systems. Border security and ground forces. Brazil shares borders with 10 countries, making it a challenge to secure its extensive land borders, especially against transnational threats such as drug trafficking, illegal mining, and deforestation in the Amazon rainforest. A significant portion of Brazil's defense budget is allocated to border security, with heavy investments in surveillance technology, intelligence operations, and rapid response military units. To strengthen land security, Brazil has implemented the CSFRON, Integrated Border Monitoring System, a high-tech surveillance network combining radar, drones, sensors, and satellite imagery to track illegal activities along the country's borders. This system is particularly crucial in detecting illicit drug smuggling routes, arms trafficking, and environmental crimes in the Amazon basin. The Brazilian Army, the largest branch of the armed forces, is undergoing modernization with the procurement of new armored vehicles such as the Guarani 6x6 wheeled armored personnel carrier, designed for mobility in Brazil's diverse terrain. The Army also participates in joint military exercises with regional allies and contributes to UN peacekeeping missions. Naval development and maritime security. With a 7,491-kilometer-long coastline, Brazil maintains a strong naval presence in the South Atlantic Ocean, ensuring the protection of its territorial waters, offshore oil reserves, and trade routes. The Brazilian Navy has been undergoing major expansion to enhance maritime defense, counter-piracy operations, and deep-sea exploration capabilities. One of Brazil's most ambitious projects is the PROSUB program, a partnership with France to develop 4 Scorpion-class diesel-electric submarines and Brazil's first nuclear-powered submarine, Álvaro Alberto. This nuclear submarine, expected to be operational in the 2030s, will significantly boost Brazil's naval capabilities and make it the only country in Latin America with such technology. Additionally, Brazil has been upgrading its Tamandaré-class frigates, which will improve anti-air, anti-surface, and anti-submarine warfare capabilities. The Navy also operates Amazon patrol ships to monitor illegal fishing, piracy, and environmental threats in the region's vast river networks. Aerospace and space-based defense programs. Brazil is one of the few countries in Latin America with an active space program, investing in satellite technology, military communications, and strategic reconnaissance systems. The Alcantara Space Center, located near the equator, provides a prime location for satellite launches and partnerships with international space agencies. The Geostationary Defense and Strategic Communications Satellite, SGDC-1, was launched to improve secure military communications and internet access for remote areas, playing a crucial role in cybersecurity and defense operations. Brazil is also investing in unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, for surveillance and intelligence gathering. The Brazilian Air Force, FAB, is undergoing modernization, with the procurement of Gripen-E multi-role fighter jets from Sweden's Saab Group. These advanced aircraft enhance Brazil's air defense, reconnaissance, and combat readiness. With a $26.8 billion defense budget, Brazil continues to assert its military dominance in South America, focusing on border security, naval expansion, and space-based defense technology. By strengthening its land, sea, and air capabilities, Brazil is positioning itself as a key regional player while ensuring national security and technological advancement for the future. Number 17, Taiwan, $27.1 billion. Taiwan's defense budget is focused on deterring a potential invasion from China. Investments include missile defense systems, drone warfare, and U.S.-made F-16 fighter jets to strengthen its military capabilities. Taiwan, officially known as the Republic of China, ROC, faces one of the most complex security situations in the world. With increasing military pressure from the People's Republic of China, PRC, Taiwan's $27.1 billion defense budget is strategically allocated to deterring a potential invasion, enhancing missile defense systems, expanding drone warfare capabilities, and acquiring advanced U.S.-made fighter jets. These investments aim to strengthen Taiwan's military readiness and ensure its ability to defend its sovereignty. Threat from China and military strategy. China considers Taiwan a breakaway province and has not ruled out the use of force to bring it under Beijing's control. With China's People's Liberation Army, PLA, conducting frequent naval, air, and missile drills near Taiwan, the island nation has prioritized a porcupine defense strategy, making any potential invasion costly and difficult for an aggressor. To achieve this, Taiwan is focusing on asymmetrical warfare, which involves the use of highly mobile, advanced technology weaponry, such as anti-ship missiles, fast attack craft, and long-range precision strike capabilities. This approach is designed to compensate for Taiwan's smaller military force compared to China's massive standing army. Missile defense systems. A major portion of Taiwan's defense spending is dedicated to missile defense. With China's ballistic and hypersonic missile arsenal posing a significant threat, Taiwan is expanding its indigenous missile production and acquiring advanced systems to counter potential airstrikes. One of Taiwan's key projects is the Skybound 3 surface-to-air missile system, which is capable of intercepting incoming enemy missiles and aircraft. Additionally, Taiwan has purchased the Patriot Advanced Capability 3, PAC-3, missile defense system from the United States, a critical component in defending against Chinese missile attacks. Taiwan is also developing Sunfeng II supersonic anti-ship missiles, which are designed to target and destroy enemy naval vessels, acting as a deterrent against a potential Chinese amphibious assault. Drone warfare and AI integration. Recognizing the importance of unmanned combat systems, Taiwan is investing heavily in drone warfare and AI-driven military technologies. The country is rapidly expanding its fleet of indigenous UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, for surveillance, reconnaissance, and potential strike missions. Taiwan's Qianxiang loitering munition drones are specifically designed to neutralize enemy radar stations and electronic warfare systems, disrupting China's communication and surveillance networks. These drones are seen as an essential tool in Taiwan's defensive military posture, allowing for rapid response in the event of an invasion. U.S.-made F-16 fighter jets and air superiority. To maintain air superiority, Taiwan has invested in modernizing its fighter jet fleet. A major acquisition in this area is 66 new F-16V Viper jets from the United States, bringing Taiwan's total F-16 fleet to over 200 aircraft. These advanced jets are equipped with Active Electronically Scanned Array, AESA, radar, improving target detection and tracking. Advanced avionics and weapons systems, allowing for better engagement with enemy aircraft. Longer-range precision strike capabilities, enhancing Taiwan's defensive reach. In addition to purchasing new jets, Taiwan is upgrading its older F-16B models to S-16V standards, ensuring that its Air Force remains competitive against China's J-20 stealth fighters and Su-35 jets. Naval defense and anti-invasion measures. With China's rapid naval expansion, Taiwan is heavily investing in anti-ship defense and naval deterrence capabilities. The Taiwanese Navy has commissioned new stealth missile corvettes designed for hit-and-run attacks on enemy ships. These vessels are armed with Sunfeng II supersonic missiles, capable of striking Chinese warships before they approach Taiwan's shores. Taiwan is also modernizing its submarine fleet, including the Indigenous Defense Submarine (IDS) program, which aims to develop locally built attack submarines to counter China's naval dominance in the Taiwan Strait. Conclusion: With a $27.1 billion defense budget, Taiwan is rapidly modernizing its military to counter China's growing threat. By investing in missile defense, drone warfare, advanced fighter jets, and naval deterrence, Taiwan is reinforcing its ability to defend against a potential invasion. While Taiwan remains vastly outnumbered by China's military forces, its asymmetrical warfare strategy and advanced weapons systems provide a formidable deterrent, ensuring that any attack on the island would come at a high cost to the aggressor. Number 16. Turkey, $27.5 billion. Turkey, a key NATO member, has one of the fastest-growing defense industries. It is producing its own stealth drones, fighter jets, and advanced missile defense systems, positioning itself as a regional military powerhouse. Turkey, a key NATO member and a rising military power, has been significantly increasing its defense budget, reaching $27.5 billion in recent years. With a rapidly expanding defense industry, Turkey has been investing heavily in indigenous military technology, including stealth drones, fighter jets, and advanced missile defense systems. These developments have positioned Turkey as a regional powerhouse, capable of both domestic military production and exporting defense technology to allied nations. Turkey's growing defense industry. One of Turkey's defining military strategies has been its push for defense self-sufficiency, reducing reliance on foreign arms suppliers and bolstering domestic military production. The Turkish government has actively supported private and state-owned defense firms, leading to rapid advancements in military technology. Major Turkish defense companies such as Baykar, ASELSAN, TAI, Turkish Aerospace Industries, and Roketsan have played a critical role in developing cutting-edge weapons, drones, missiles, and military vehicles. This push has made Turkey a major arms exporter, selling military technology to countries in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. Stealth drones and UAV technology. Turkey has emerged as a global leader in drone technology, with its unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, becoming a game-changer in modern warfare. The Bayraktar TB2, developed by Baykar, has gained international recognition for its effectiveness in conflicts in Syria, Libya, Nagorno-Karabakh, and Ukraine. Some key features of the Bayraktar TB2 drone: precision-guided missile capability, high endurance and range for reconnaissance and attack missions, battle-proven effectiveness in asymmetric warfare, exported to over 30 countries, including Poland, Ukraine, and Azerbaijan. Building on this success, Turkey has developed more advanced UAVs, such as the Bayraktar Akinci, which is a high-altitude, long-endurance HALE attack drone with stealth capabilities, greater payload capacity, and AI-assisted targeting systems. Turkey is also working on the Kizilelma, a next-generation unmanned stealth fighter capable of operating alongside traditional jets in combat scenarios. Domestic fighter jet development, TFX-Con. Turkey has also made significant progress in fighter jet production, with the development of its fifth-generation fighter jet, TFX-Con, designed by Turkish Aerospace Industries, TI. This aircraft aims to replace Turkey's aging F-16 fleet and reduce reliance on Western-made fighters. Some features of the TFX-Con include stealth design to reduce radar detection, advanced avionics and electronic warfare capabilities, super cruise ability for high-speed engagements, integration with next-gen Turkish-made weapon systems. This project became even more crucial after Turkey was removed from the U.S. F-35 program following its purchase of Russian S-400 missile defense systems. Advanced missile defense and naval power. Turkey has developed its own missile defense systems, including the Hisar and Cyper air defense systems, designed to counter threats such as enemy aircraft, drones, and ballistic missiles. The Turkish Navy has also undergone expansion with the introduction of the TCG Anadolu, an amphibious assault ship capable of carrying drones and helicopters. This drone carrier concept is a first of its kind and showcases Turkey's naval innovation. Conclusion. With a $27.5 billion defense budget, Turkey has transformed into a self-sufficient military power with advanced capabilities in stealth drones, fighter jets, and missile defense systems. As it continues to grow its defense industry and export military technology, Turkey is solidifying its position as a regional and global military leader. But while Turkey rapidly expands its military, how does it compare to other major defense spenders? With global tensions rising, military budgets are changing fast. Next, we analyze the global impact of rising defense budgets. Poland is now one of NATO's fastest-growing military powers. Stick around as we break down Poland's military spending next. Number 15. Poland, $28.4 billion. Did you know that Poland is now one of the fastest-growing military powers in NATO? In 2025, Poland's defense budget has reached $28.4 billion, making it one of the largest military spenders in Europe. But why is Poland investing so much in its armed forces? And how is it preparing for future threats? Let's dive in. Poland is doubling its military forces and acquiring modern tanks, fighter jets, and missile defense systems, making it one of NATO's strongest defenses in Eastern Europe. Poland's $28.4 billion defense budget is a historic high, reflecting the country's commitment to national security in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Poland has long been wary of Russian aggression, and with Ukraine at war, Poland is taking no chances. This budget is not just about defense, it's about deterrence. Poland is rapidly expanding its army, air force, and missile defense systems, making it one of NATO's most prepared countries. In fact, Poland has set a goal of doubling the size of its military and acquiring some of the world's most advanced weapons. So where's all this money going? One of Poland's top priorities is modernizing its ground forces. Poland is acquiring over 1,000 K2 Black Panther tanks from South Korea, M1 Abrams tanks from the US, and hundreds of armored vehicles. This is the largest tank acquisition program in Europe since the Cold War. Poland is also heavily investing in air power. The country has purchased F-35 Lightning II stealth fighter jets, making its air force one of the most advanced in Europe. Additionally, Poland is upgrading its fleet of S-16s and acquiring South Korean Fa-50 fighter jets to strengthen its aerial capabilities. Another major area of focus is missile defense. Poland has acquired Patriot missile defense systems from the US, ensuring it can protect its cities and military bases from potential threats. It is also developing long-range artillery and rocket systems, enhancing its ability to deter aggression. Beyond traditional military investments, Poland is also strengthening its cyber defense and intelligence capabilities. As modern warfare shifts toward digital threats and hybrid conflicts, Poland is ensuring it can counter cyber attacks and protect its infrastructure from foreign interference. One of the most significant aspects of Poland's defense budget is its increased military presence along NATO's eastern flank. Poland has hosted thousands of US and NATO troops, making it a key defensive hub for the alliance. It has also built new military bases and expanded joint training exercises with NATO forces. Poland's military expansion is not just about its own security. It's about strengthening NATO as a whole. With Russia posing an increasing threat to Eastern Europe, Poland is emerging as one of the most important military players in the region. Despite this rapid growth, there are debates within Poland about whether such a large defense budget is sustainable. Some argue that money should go toward economic growth and social programs, while others believe that a strong military is the only way to ensure peace. So, while Poland rapidly expands its military, how does it compare to other major defense spenders? With global tensions rising, military budgets are changing fast. Stick around as we analyze the global impact of rising defense budgets. Stick around as we break down Ukraine's military spending next. Number 7. Saudi Arabia, $71.7 billion. One of the biggest arms buyers in the world, Saudi Arabia spends heavily on missile defense, fighter jets, and security against regional threats. How does a country with a population of just 36 million people manage to have one of the largest defense budgets in the world? In 2025, Saudi Arabia is spending $71.7 billion on its military, making it the seventh largest defense spender globally. But why does this oil-rich kingdom invest so much in its armed forces? And where does all that money go? Let's take a closer look. Saudi Arabia's $71.7 billion defense budget is massive, especially considering the country's size. Unlike India or China, which have large standing armies, Saudi Arabia's military is relatively small, but highly advanced. This is because the country spends a significant portion of its budget on cutting-edge military technology, air defense systems, and foreign weapons imports. Saudi Arabia has long been one of the biggest buyers of U.S. and European-made weapons, purchasing state-of-the-art fighter jets, missile defense systems, and advanced surveillance technology. This heavy military investment is driven by regional security concerns and Saudi Arabia's ambitions to maintain dominance in the Middle East. So, what's behind this massive defense spending? One of the biggest reasons is regional security threats. Saudi Arabia has faced constant tensions with Iran, its biggest geopolitical rival, as well as ongoing conflicts in Yemen and instability in the broader Middle East. For years, Saudi Arabia has been involved in the Yemen conflict, leading a military coalition against the Iran-backed Houthi rebels. This war has cost billions of dollars, with Saudi forces conducting airstrikes, naval blockades, and ground operations. The need to defend against missile and drone attacks from Yemen has also led to heavy spending on air defense systems like the U.S.-made Patriot and THAAD missile interceptors. Another major focus is protecting Saudi Arabia's oil infrastructure. The country's vast oil fields and refineries are its economic backbone, and they have been targeted in attacks before, most notably in 2019, when drone strikes temporarily knocked out half of Saudi Arabia's oil production. To prevent future attacks, Saudi Arabia has invested heavily in missile defense, radar technology, and cyber warfare capabilities. Unlike some other major military spenders, Saudi Arabia doesn't manufacture most of its own weapons. Instead, it relies on massive arms deals with countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. Some of its biggest purchases include F-15 fighter jets from the U.S., Typhoon and Tornado aircraft from the UK, ballistic missile defense systems from various European suppliers, high-tech drones and surveillance aircraft. However, in recent years, Saudi Arabia has begun focusing on developing its own defense industry, aiming to produce at least 50% of its military equipment domestically by 2030 under its Vision 2030 initiative. This shift is part of a broader plan to reduce dependence on foreign arms suppliers and strengthen Saudi Arabia's military self-sufficiency. So, while Saudi Arabia is securing its military dominance in the Middle East, what about India? Number 6. India, $74.4 billion. A rising superpower, India is modernizing its military to counter China and Pakistan, investing in fighter jets, tanks, and naval forces. Did you know that India now has one of the largest defense budgets in the world? In 2025, India's military spending has reached $74.4 billion, making it the sixth largest globally. But what's fueling this increase? And how is India using this budget to modernize its armed forces? Let's dive in. India's $74.4 billion defense budget is a reflection of its growing global ambitions and the increasing security challenges it faces. As the world's most populous country and a rising superpower, India is rapidly transforming its military to match its economic and political influence. This massive budget funds the Indian Army, Navy, and Air Force with a strong focus on modernization, border security, and indigenous defense manufacturing. With tensions rising in the region, particularly with China and Pakistan, India is prioritizing advanced weapons systems, stronger military infrastructure, and cutting-edge technology. So where exactly is this money going? One of the biggest priorities for India is border security, especially along the line of actual control, LAC, with China and the line of control, LOC, with Pakistan. These border regions have been the site of numerous conflicts and standoffs, prompting India to invest heavily in surveillance technology, troop deployments, and new military bases. Another significant portion of the budget is being used for military modernization. India is acquiring new fighter jets, warships, and missile defense systems to replace its aging fleet. The country has signed multi-billion-dollar deals for Rafale fighter jets from France, S-400 missile defense systems from Russia, and is also developing its own indigenous fighter aircraft, the Tejas. In addition to its air and land forces, India is also investing in naval expansion. The Indian Navy is one of the fastest-growing naval forces in the world, with new aircraft carriers, submarines, and destroyers being added to its fleet. The goal? To counter China's growing presence in the Indian Ocean and secure key maritime trade routes. One of the biggest shifts in India's defense strategy is its push for self-reliance in defense production. Under the Atmanirbhar Bharat, Self-Reliant India initiative, the government is increasing domestic defense manufacturing and reducing dependence on foreign suppliers. Indian companies are now producing drones, missiles, and advanced weaponry, making the country less reliant on imports. Beyond weapons and defense infrastructure, India is also focusing on cybersecurity and space defense. With rising cyber threats and the increasing role of space in modern warfare, India has launched programs to develop space-based surveillance systems and cyber warfare capabilities. While India's defense spending is massive, it still falls behind China's $235 billion military budget. However, India's strategic location and military partnerships with countries like the United States, Russia, and France make it a key player in global security. So, while India is rapidly modernizing its military, what about the United Kingdom? The UK has long been one of NATO's strongest members, but how does its defense spending compare? Stick around as we break down Britain's military budget next. Number 5. United Kingdom, $81.1 billion. A key NATO member, the UK maintains nuclear submarines, aircraft carriers, and a cutting-edge air force. Did you know that the United Kingdom has one of the highest defense budgets in Europe? In 2025, the UK is spending $81.1 billion on its military. But what does this mean for Britain's global influence, and how does it compare to other military powers? Let's break it down. With a budget of $81.1 billion, the United Kingdom remains one of NATO's strongest military forces. This spending covers everything from modernizing its armed forces to supporting global military operations and providing aid to Ukraine. The UK has long been known for its powerful navy, advanced air force, and strong intelligence operations, and this budget reinforces its position as a key player on the world stage. Unlike Germany, which only recently started ramping up its defense spending, the UK has consistently maintained a high military budget. A major portion of this funding goes into nuclear deterrence, intelligence operations, and the development of new-generation military technologies. So, where exactly is all this money going? One of the biggest expenditures is the Armed Forces Pension Scheme, which supports military personnel long after they retire. But beyond that, the UK is heavily investing in its Navy, Air Force, and cyber defense programs. Let's start with the Royal Navy. The UK is doubling down on its naval capabilities, particularly with its Queen Elizabeth-class aircraft carriers, the largest warships ever built for the Royal Navy. These carriers are designed to project British power across the globe, and their deployment alongside NATO allies ensures that Britain remains a key military force in global waters. Next, there's the Royal Air Force, RAF, which is set to receive next-generation fighter jets, including the F-35 Lightning II. These stealth aircraft enhance the UK's air superiority and are critical in both defense and offensive operations. And let's not forget the UK's nuclear deterrent program. The country is committed to maintaining and modernizing its Trident nuclear submarine fleet, which carries Britain's strategic nuclear weapons. This is a major factor in the UK's defense strategy, ensuring that the country remains a formidable power. The UK's military budget isn't just about defense, it's about global influence. Britain is deeply involved in NATO operations, counter-terrorism missions, and peacekeeping efforts around the world. It also plays a significant role in Ukraine, sending billions of dollars in military aid, including advanced weapons, tanks, and training programs for Ukrainian forces. Another key area of focus is cybersecurity. The UK has one of the most advanced cyber defense programs in the world, working to counter cyber threats from Russia, China, and other adversaries. A significant portion of the budget goes into intelligence agencies like MI6 and GCHQ, ensuring that Britain remains at the forefront of cyber warfare and global intelligence operations. So, while the UK continues to strengthen its military, how does Germany, one of the fastest-growing global powers, compare? But what about Germany, a country that has significantly increased its defense spending in recent years? Stay tuned as we break down Germany's rapidly growing military budget next. Number 4. Germany, $86 billion. Germany has dramatically increased its military budget in response to Russia's aggression in Ukraine, focusing on fighter jets, tanks, and European defense programs. Germany is making a dramatic shift in military spending. After decades of restraint, the country has now allocated $86 billion for defense in 2024, one of its largest military budgets in history. But what's driving this increase, and how does it compare to the rest of Europe? Let's take a closer look. Germany's $86 billion defense budget marks a major transformation in the country's military strategy. For years, Germany had been criticized, especially by NATO allies, for spending too little on defense. But now, in response to rising global tensions and the war in Ukraine, Germany is rebuilding its military at an unprecedented pace. This budget includes funding for a special military modernization fund, boosting the Bundeswehr, Germany's armed forces, with new tanks, aircraft, and advanced defense systems. It also includes military pensions and aid to Ukraine, solidifying Germany's position as a major European military power. So why is Germany suddenly increasing its defense budget so drastically? The biggest reason: Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The conflict has shaken Europe's security landscape, and Germany, as the largest economy in the European Union, is expected to take a leading role in NATO's defense efforts. For decades, Germany maintained a pacifist approach due to its history in World War II, relying on diplomacy and economic influence rather than military force. But after years of pressure from NATO and the realization that Europe needs to strengthen its defenses, Germany's government has committed to spending at least 2% of its GDP on defense, aligning with NATO guidelines. This shift is part of what German leaders are calling the Zeitenwende, or historic turning point, a complete overhaul of its defense strategy. And this isn't just about tanks and guns. It's about technology, cybersecurity, and new global military alliances. One of the biggest projects funded by Germany's defense budget is the purchase of F-35 fighter jets, the world's most advanced stealth aircraft. This marks a huge step for Germany, as these jets are capable of carrying nuclear weapons, a sign that Germany is taking deterrence more seriously. Additionally, Germany is investing in air defense systems to protect against potential missile attacks. This includes developing the European Missile Shield, a project that could strengthen the entire continent's defenses. Beyond its own military, Germany is also sending billions in aid to Ukraine, supplying tanks, artillery, and ammunition. This is a massive shift for a country that, just a few years ago, was reluctant to send lethal weapons abroad. Despite this surge in spending, Germany still lags behind countries like the US and China. However, within Europe, it's rapidly becoming one of the biggest military spenders, potentially reshaping the region's security dynamics. So, while Germany is ramping up its military, what about Russia, another global powerhouse? You might be surprised to learn just how much Moscow is spending on its military, and why its budget, despite being smaller, still makes Russia a major threat. Stick around as we dive into Russia's defense spending next. Number 3. Russia. $145.9 billion. Russia might not have the biggest economy, but its military budget tells a different story. In 2024, Russia's defense spending surged to $145.9 billion, the highest it's been since the Cold War. But here's the twist. When adjusted for purchasing power, that number jumps to an incredible $461 billion. So what exactly is Russia spending all this money on? And how does it stack up against global military superpowers? Let's take a deep dive. Despite economic sanctions, Russia has quadrupled its military production, focusing on tanks, missiles, and nuclear weapons. Russia's military budget of $145.9 billion makes it the third largest defense spender in the world. However, unlike the US and China, Russia's spending is unique because of its purchasing power. Since many of its military expenses are domestic, things like weapons, labor, and manufacturing are far cheaper in Russia than in Western countries. This means that, in reality, Russia gets much more out of its budget than it appears on paper, closer to the spending power of $500 billion. This massive budget is a direct response to Russia's growing military commitments, from the ongoing war in Ukraine to its expanding global influence. Unlike some nations that focus on high-tech advancements, Russia has poured a huge portion of its budget into traditional warfare, artillery, and nuclear weapons, the backbone of its military strategy. So where is all this money actually going? First and foremost, nuclear power. Russia still holds the world's largest nuclear arsenal, with an estimated 5,000 nuclear warheads, more than any other country. With rising tensions between NATO and Russia, maintaining and modernizing these weapons is a top priority. Another major factor in Russia's defense budget is its war in Ukraine. The conflict has drained resources but also prompted Moscow to ramp up production of tanks, drones, and artillery at an unprecedented pace. In fact, Russia has quadrupled its production of key military equipment in the past 2 years, despite facing strict Western sanctions. Then there's Russia's air and naval forces. The country is investing heavily in hypersonic missiles, next-generation fighter jets, and expanding its fleet of nuclear submarines. Russia may not have the largest navy, but its submarine force remains one of the deadliest on the planet, capable of launching nuclear strikes from anywhere in the world. Another unique aspect of Russia's defense spending is its reliance on state-owned defense companies. Unlike in the US, where private companies like Lockheed Martin and Boeing dominate, Russia's military-industrial complex is largely controlled by the state, meaning its budget is heavily centralized. Despite the high military spending, Russia's economy is feeling the strain. The war in Ukraine, coupled with international sanctions, has forced Russia to allocate over 6% of its GDP to defense, the highest percentage in decades. This is a huge burden on the Russian economy, yet the Kremlin shows no signs of reducing spending anytime soon. So, while Russia's budget is massive, it's still far behind the US and even China in total numbers. Number 2, China, $235 billion. What if I told you that China's military spending isn't just growing, it's skyrocketing? With a defense budget of $235 billion in 2024, China is rapidly transforming its military into one of the most powerful forces in the world. But what's behind this surge in spending? And how does it compare to the United States? Let's break it down. China is rapidly expanding its navy, nuclear arsenal, and cyber warfare capabilities to challenge U.S. dominance in the Pacific. China's defense budget of $235 billion is the second largest in the world, and it's not stopping there. Since the year 2000, China's military spending has grown by a staggering 566%. That's an increase so massive that in purchasing power terms, it actually equates to $477 billion, closing the gap with the U.S. more than it appears at first glance. This budget funds the People's Liberation Army, PLA, which is already the largest military force in the world, with over 2 million active personnel. But China's real focus isn't just on numbers, it's on cutting-edge technology and strategic advancements, with one key goal: becoming the dominant military power in Asia and a serious global contender. So, what exactly is China spending all this money on? A major chunk goes toward modernizing its nuclear arsenal. Right now, China has about 500 nuclear warheads, but U.S. intelligence estimates that by 2030, that number could reach 1,000. This would dramatically shift the global balance of power, especially as China also expands its long-range missile capabilities. But nuclear weapons are just part of the story. China is also heavily investing in hypersonic missiles, artificial intelligence-driven warfare, and a blue water navy that can rival the United States. It already has the largest navy in the world by number of ships, with more than 370 warships, including aircraft carriers, destroyers, and submarines. And then there's space and cyber warfare. China has been making rapid advancements in satellite technology, space-based weapons, and cyber capabilities that could disrupt enemy networks in a potential conflict. These investments show that China isn't just preparing for traditional warfare. It's gearing up for the future of combat. So why is China increasing its military budget so aggressively? The answer lies in its growing regional and global ambitions. The most immediate concern, Taiwan. China considers Taiwan a breakaway province and has repeatedly stated that it aims for reunification, by force if necessary. This has led to rising tensions with the U.S. and its allies, who are committed to defending Taiwan in the event of an attack. Beyond Taiwan, China is flexing its muscles in the South China Sea, where it has been building artificial islands and militarizing disputed territories. This has put China at odds with countries like the Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia, as well as with the United States, which continues to conduct freedom of navigation operations in the region. With all this rapid military expansion, China is making one thing clear: it wants to challenge U.S. dominance on the world stage. Number 1. United States, $968 billion. Have you ever wondered how much the United States actually spends on its military? Well, get this. America's defense budget in 2024 is a staggering $968 billion. That's more than the next 12 countries combined. But where does all that money go? And why is the U.S. spending more than ever on its armed forces? Let's break it down. The U.S. spends more on defense than the next 12 countries combined, funding 750-plus military bases, hypersonic weapons, and next-gen fighter jets. To put this number into perspective, the U.S. defense budget accounts for nearly 40% of the world's total military spending. That's right, out of every dollar spent on defense worldwide, about 40 cents come from the United States alone. With this massive budget, the U.S. military continues to maintain its dominance, funding everything from aircraft carriers and fighter jets to cybersecurity and nuclear weapons. And this isn't just a small increase. Compared to last year, the defense budget has grown even larger, despite debates over national spending priorities. One thing is clear: the United States is showing no signs of stepping back when it comes to global military power. So, why does the U.S. spend so much on defense? The answer lies in its role as the world's leading military superpower. America maintains over 750 military bases in more than 80 countries, a global presence unmatched by any other nation. From deterring adversaries like China and Russia to responding to global crises and humanitarian missions, the U.S. military is built to be everywhere, all the time. A large chunk of this budget, about $315 billion, goes directly to operations and maintenance. This covers the cost of keeping America's military ready and equipped, including fuel, repairs, and training exercises. Another $190 billion is allocated for personnel, ensuring that the 1.3 million active duty service members and nearly 800,000 reserve troops are paid, housed, and supported. But the biggest ticket item? Research and development. The U.S. is pouring over $145 billion into new military technologies. Think next-gen fighter jets, hypersonic missiles, and artificial intelligence-driven warfare. The future of military combat isn't just about manpower. It's about technology, and the Pentagon is investing heavily to stay ahead. But where does all this money come from? Most of it is taxpayer-funded through the federal budget, making defense spending a constant topic of debate in Congress. Some argue that such a large budget is necessary to keep the U.S. safe in an increasingly volatile world, while others believe these funds could be better spent on domestic issues like healthcare, education, or infrastructure. One thing is certain: the U.S. military-industrial complex is massive. Just 5 major defense contractors, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, and General Dynamics, account for 86% of the Pentagon's contracts. These companies develop everything from stealth bombers to missile defense systems, making billions in the process. So how does America's defense spending compare to its biggest rivals? Do you think $968 billion is a lot? What do you when you hear about China's rapidly growing military budget and how it's reshaping global power dynamics? So, with military spending at an all-time high, what does this mean for the future? Are we heading toward a new Cold War, or even worse, a potential global conflict? Drop a comment below and let us know what you think. And there you have it, the top 20 largest defense budgets in the world. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more insights into global security, warfare, and military technology. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.